Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of What's Going On in Corpus Christi. This is the essentially the Corpus Christi Taxpayers Association show. I am the president, Jerry Sansing, and this is November 26th. I'm through with Turkey Day, thank goodness, and I'm going to just let the banner play out. Please notice that we have a change here in some times and so forth and so on. I would like to say that Mr. Sterling Bocage is no longer the producer as of the end of this show, and that will be Mr. Ed Bennett. Anyway, I'll be right back. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of What's Going On in Corpus Christi, Texas. This is Jerry Sansing. Got a new producer, Mr. Ed Bennett. This is November 26, 2016. The new air times are there, Monday at 9:30 p.m., Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. And then there's my email address. I've had several people email me, so I'm going to go ahead and discuss some of the emails that I've been getting and the topics and so forth. Please email me. I need to know what's going on. I'm president of the Corpus Christi Taxpayers Association, and we really would like your input. A lot of things going on that have concerned us deeply, and I hope they concern you. And then I'll go ahead and tell you a little bit about the meetings. So email me, and I'll get together with you and tell you when our meetings are going to be, and so forth and so on. And I'll be right back. Okay, lights on, camera's recording. I'm going to take my seat as usual. This is a one-man show. I try to do the best I can with what I've got, and haven't had too many complaints yet, except from the people that are at the tail end of what I have to say. You know, there are a lot of people in this world, folks, that don't cherish the truth. They can't handle the truth. So I'm going to go ahead and start by saying these are beautiful roses over here. I've got 11 of those for my dear deceased wife Lynn, and I've got the single rose there, the 12th rose, for my good friend April 23. And I'm dedicating this show to both of them as usual. Okay, I guess the main thing that I need to discuss this evening is the passing of the bond for Del Mar College Southside Campus. You know I was totally and completely against that. I've been at Del Mar since August of 1989. I can't believe that I retired from industry and consulting that many years ago. You know, I guess that makes me an old coot. But, you know, I've never regretted a minute of it coming down here with Miss Lynn and enjoying the coast and so forth and so on. And I've enjoyed every minute of my time at Del Mar College, much to the dismay of many over there. Okay, and no, for the record, ladies and gentlemen, I'm nowhere near getting ready to retire. So you know, suck it up, and we'll see what happens, and we'll just proceed on. So I'm going to get a sip of my tea here, and the bond election, which happened back on November the 8th of this year. Today is the 26th. But on the next day after the election, which was Wednesday, November the 9th, Dr. Mark Escamilla, the president of Del Mar College, came out with a bunch of stuff thanking everybody for this, that, and the other, and district voters approved $1.8 million from a previous bond to complete the Southside Campus master plan. Now, that master plan was done for $1.8 million. It's probably run over that, I'm going to find out. And that was to enhance the bank accounts of our local engineers, architects, and building contractors. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and discuss this. You know, now that the voters, 53% of you fine folks, decided you did want this Southside campus. I don't think that's a landslide vote when 47% of you, thank you folks out there, said no mas, and no in Greek it's oihi. Okay, But it says Delmar Works. I got 2 of these blooming things in the mail. Okay, I think most people did, and it was sponsored by Larry Elizondo Sr., treasurer, and so forth and so on. Now, people that run these political ads like this and campaigns have to divulge their source of money by filing that with Delmar College. So it was obtained, actually. I asked a friend of mine, Mr. Rick Spurl, who's an investigative reporter, the chief investigative reporter with Channel 6 lately, KRIS, and he asked for this and got it pretty quick. He said, who are the people that contributed to this? Okay. Now, I'm not going to go down the list of names and so forth, but to a person, they were contractors, building contractors, they were architects, and they were local engineers. Okay, and then an engineering company that Delmar College hired out of Corpus Christi, Texas. I don't know why they keep hiring outside attorneys, as if we don't have attorneys here that can handle the information and so forth and keep the money in town. It's taxpayers' money from Corpus Christi taxpayers. And, you know, it just baffles me that we have to go out for real estate deals when the $69,000 an acre plot out there, 96 acres, was purchased by Delmar College without taxpayers' approval with that. Then, you know, a whole bunch of money was spent for titles and you know, title company stuff and legal help to get that whole thing closed. And I can't believe that we don't have competent attorneys in town. I know several of them that could have handled that very well, and the local title companies. I guess they didn't want to go to bed with anybody over there at the real estate cartel known as the city council. And I'm going to be blunt with you folks. You know, I mean, I have no reason to be politically correct. I want to be a good president of the Taxpayers Association of Corpus Christi, Texas, and try to, you know, protect you people from all these rip-offs that we've got. But anyway, I just want to let you know that an awful lot of advertising was done by that, and the president of the Delmar College Board of Regents, or chair, or whatever they call him, Mr. Trey McCampbell, was on the phone soliciting money for the Delmar Works political activities over here. Now, you know, I don't know that that's illegal, but I would think that that would not be a real prudent thing to do if you're out trying to get the true picture. Now, I'm very, very disappointed in the loss of that, because that means that I'm only 5 out of 6 with my international signs. You know, I was able to get no Las Brisas pulled in here to kill a bunch of infants and so forth, thank goodness. And then Chris Adler was not our mayor. And then Mr. Trey McCampbell was the hot shot with Destination Bayfront for $44 million. That thing still sits down there vacant. It looks like hell downtown. They rerouted that Shoreline Boulevard to the point where it's a death trap down there. It looks like crap. Okay, nobody can enjoy the Bayfront any longer. And you know, this whole town. Thank you, City Council and Mayor Martinez and Mayor Adami and a few of the others that were there, and Trey McCampbell and some of you other people down here with the real estate cartel. Our city looks like hell. Okay, it looks like a third world country. It's an abortion, and I'm just going to be that blunt. And I'm very, very saddened by the fact that you people are more interested in your bank accounts and your wallets than you are the taxpayers' money. And I'm just going to, you know, I just spit it out and I tell it the way I see it. But anyway, Larry Elizondo Sr., you know, I hope your teeth rot out and fall on the floor for backing this nonsensical thing that we do not need. You never asked me what I thought. As a 27-year veteran of Delmar College, I could have told you this is one of the worst things that you could have ever done. But let me tell you what, now that it's been voted in, I'm going to support what goes on, and I'm going to make damn sure, okay, that the money's spent wisely and that thing is a success out there, okay? Now, I don't know about phase 2 and 3. We're looking at probably $500 million to finish that unwanted stuff out there and unneeded stuff. But that's up to you taxpayers. 53% of you said that you wanted this, and 53% of you roughly said you wanted Trey McCampbell back. So you got him, okay? And then you're going to have to pay the consequences, because he's going to, as a banker, and a friend of all these contractors and architects and engineers around here, he's going to bleed you dry, okay? All right, so then we had Dr. Mark Escamilla on the night say that it was just a wonderful thing, you know, and that he thanked the thousands of you that supported this initiative. He didn't thank the thousands of you people that said no, okay? So I'm just going to leave it at that, and I'm going to take a sip of my tea, and then I'll travel on, okay? I'm a third of the way through this. Now, in the Foghorn, which is the Del Mar College newspaper, the student newspaper, on November 21st, it says, honoring veterans. Del Mar College hosts several events for Veterans Day. Now, on my show, if you want to watch it, it's called South Texas News and Reviews. I exposed the fact that I had an unruly vet in my class at one time, and I'm the one that had to pay the brunt of that. I've been accused of putting Del Mar College in potential jeopardy because of my treatment of a vet. My rule is you don't talk in my class. You don't interrupt me. You don't interrupt the other students in particular. And I had last year a student that did that. I called him out, and then, you know, that's when all the crap started. So I'm going to explain that on my South Texas News and Reviews show. And, you know, I'll give you the times for that one. Our new times starting the second week in November. Actually, it's the first week. The South Texas News and Reviews airs Wednesday at 8 till 9 p.m. and then Thursday 6 to 7 p.m. This show is going to be on at Monday from 9:30 to 10:30 p.m. and Wednesday from 9:30 to 10 o'clock p.m. And then, thank goodness, we've got a true CPA on the board now. I mean, a real one, not one that just reported and professed that he was a CPA and was not at the time. That's our fearless leader of the Board of Regents over there. But the voice of Ed Bennett will air Wednesdays from 7 to 7:30 p.m. and then Sunday from 8:30 to 9 p.m. So if you'd like for me to verify this and send you a message, then email me at gsansing@gmail.com, and I will be more than happy to get back with you with the times and answer your questions. And if you'd like to dispute anything I say, then that's your time. I'll read it on the air. Okay? All right, but anyway, we're back to November 21st. It says honoring veterans. Okay, this is in the Foghorn. Now, much to the dismay of Dr. Rito Silva, who claims to be a veteran supporter because of this, that, and the other, he did this memory garden out here, or was a proponent of that. Now, I can see these flags out there in front of the Heldenfels building, underneath the flags we've got. They have a little fenced-off place that is a memorial garden, okay? Now, I've got 7 veterans that I honored out there. I've got my father, Colonel Virgil E. Sansing, United States Air Force, okay? If you'd like to have a copy of his experiences as a fighter pilot in World War II, Korea, and Nam, I'll be more than happy to send that to you. Just email me. Then my brother Bruce was in the Navy. My uncle Jasper Collins Sansing was in the Air Force. He was an Air Force navigator. And then I had my grandfather, Hal Etheridge, that's my mother's dad, who was a World War I veteran. He was an artillery officer. He was an electrical engineer from Tufts University. And he went through absolute hell during the First World War. And then I've got Mr. Jack Gordy, who's the vice president of the Taxpayers Association, United States Navy. And then I've got Dr. Bruce Olson. He's Colonel Bruce Olson. He was Army through Vietnam and so forth and so on. A very brave individual. He's the one that was locked out by Del Mar College because he filed a complaint against Del Mar, and rightfully so. He's up now in a lawsuit to regain his position at Del Mar College after 4 or 5 years of being exiled over there. And the Texas Supreme Court has deemed him still an employee at Del Mar College. So taxpayers, that's going to be one hell of a hit. But you know, why you can lock out retired Army colonel, okay, that was Special Forces, Airborne Ranger, and expect him not to hang in there. And, you know, he ain't going to give up, folks. Okay? And then, you know, I've got... those are the people that I honored. And then I think I've got a couple other people over there. An architect, George Clower, U.S. Navy. And then I'm going to go ahead and put another flag up over there for Hank Henry, retired Army colonel. He was Second World War, Vietnam, and so forth and so on, Korea. And, you know, I grew up with the bravest of the brave, but to have some... you know, student who was minimally a veteran disrupt my class and then get all upset and go after me and call in his dysfunctional veteran brothers and sisters to go there and fix me up, then you know, and that ain't over. I'm going to talk about it. But go to the South Texas News and Reviews. That's next week. It'll be on Wednesday at 8 o'clock to 9 next week, and then Thursday from 6 to 7, and see what I've got some choice words to say about that. But I am all for this veterans, you know, the spot over there at Del Mar College. Okay. Now, then we have voters, okay, $139 million for a new campus. That was done on on November the 8th. And then it's got in this same November 21st campus newspaper, there's an article about that, and it says Escamilla is excited about the possibilities. That's Dr. Mark Escamilla, who pushed this hard along with Mr. Trey McCampbell, the chair of the Board of Regents. It says the future is definitely brighter, he said. Well, Dr. Escamilla, when you're making $270,000 a year, okay, at taxpayers' expense, then you're not too worried about having to pay taxes for this new debacle over there, okay? And you can be high and mighty and do everything you want to do. Now, I remember when you started at Del Mar College and you told me that you came out of a very humble neighborhood, which was right over there next to West Campus. I better take a shot of tea here. And how great it was to know all those hard workers over there at Del Mar College. And you essentially, I'm just going to tell you, as far as I see it, you've turned your back on those people. Here you are making $270,000 a year, new home, and so forth and so on. You've got your future made, and then you're pounding the local taxpayers over there in the neighborhoods that you grew up in with exorbitant taxes to pay for this boondoggle that you call the Southside campus. Now, then another article in here, Bennett takes board seat from Boggs in election. A good friend of mine and a colleague, Mr. Ed Bennett, I don't know if that's going to help him much on the new Board of Regents. It's going to start next month or not. But anyway, Ed has been elected as District 5 Regent for Del Mar College. Now, he's a true CPA. He's got his license in order. Mr. Trey McCampbell said that he was the only CPA on the Board of Regents. His CPA had expired or was revoked or something. I don't know what the hell was going on with that. But you can't go around and claim that you are a CPA if your license in the state of Texas is not updated. So then he goes over there and he's, oh, well, I apologize. You know, I didn't know that I couldn't say that when he was interviewed on KRIS TV by Jessica Savage. Okay, so that's the kind of people we're dealing with, and he's the one that was behind that Delmar Works business over there, pushing this thing real hard. And since you're pushing those people real hard and you're out soliciting, I understand that he was on the telephone soliciting funds from architects, engineers, and building contractors around here to get that thing done. Then as a banker, I don't know, he's a vice president of one of the local banks. Now, what's your motive, Mr. McCampbell? Was that to get all your buddies over there some big fat money with $139 million, and then another? That's just phase 1 of 3. So I wouldn't mind being privy to being an engineer, or architect, or a building company around here when we're looking at about $500 million after the phase 3 to get this thing done, which we don't need. And then you've got your PR people out there saying that we're swamped with students. Okay, that's hogwash, folks. And then we've got 50,133 enrollments. Now that's bending the truth. That's Delmar. Okay, but I am glad that Ed Bennett's on there. He's going to go back and he's exposed the college for overtaxing you for anywhere from $5 to $12 million per year. Those are days when Delmar College said that we couldn't give a raise to any of the employees except the president and the administrators, okay? And then hiring administrators and then changing their titles from a director to the vice presidency and so forth and so on, and boosting their salaries up beyond compare. It's called administrative bloat, okay? Then, I don't know what to tell you except Ed, is a CPA and a certified fraud examiner. Then, you've helped me a lot to understand what's going on and all of this untrue blather that goes on. So I'm looking forward to having you on that board of regents and straightening some of these people out. And then what pained me deeply was there's a picture in here, I think, of Dr. Rito Silva putting some of those flags up for Memorial Day. And I know it's in here somewhere. Yeah, here it is. Delmar remembers those who have served. Okay? And then you're the one that went after me on that disruptive veteran that was in my class. Okay? And you have made some really nasty statements about me, Dr. Silva. And I hope you choke on those when you find out, and I think you do know what my history is. I could not join the service because of a bad right foot. I couldn't go to the service academies, but I was raised by some of the most brave fighter pilots from World War II, Korea, and then eventually Vietnam that you could ever wish for. Okay, they were my direct people, like my father. And if anybody out there wants to see the eulogy that was written about my dad, it'll curl your hair, folks. Okay? He was one hell of a brave man, and he fought for your freedom and my freedom of speech, and that's the reason I'm here. And then, like I say, I'm just really, really pleased that Mr. Ed Bennett's on here. And what Mr. Bennett's going to do is to put Delmar back into one of the premier community colleges in the country. He's going to start supporting the faculty members and the employees of Delmar College that were not afforded a raise because of Mr. McCampbell and his leadership over there. We don't have any money, and then we wind up with surplus funds of $5 million to $12 million per year. And folks, you're supposed to be zeroing out. The expenses versus income should be real close to zero, except for about $5.5 million per year. It should be put into contingency funds. So you've been duped, taxpayers. Where did the $5 to $12 million go? I know where $6.8 million of it went, and you didn't have a chance to vote on whether you wanted that Southside campus or not. And if you divide $68 million by 96, then you've got about $69,000 per acre. And then it took me a long time to badger the Board of Regents and everybody over there to get to the point where they could at least cut the grass, and that cost you a little over, almost $200,000 just to have me badger you and put you in compliance after the code enforcement got on your butts? What does it take? Okay, all I can request, Del Mar College, is fire me. Okay, why don't you lock my door like you did Dr. Bruce Olson, and let's see what happens. Okay, that's not a threat, that's a statement of fact. Now, I did get an email. It says, email letter sent to Del Mar College Board and interested parties on 13th November 2016. What is a contemporary library? Now, this person, who I have not heard back from, I emailed this person to ask if I could paraphrase this. I have not heard back, so I won't mention names or anything. But here's the bottom line gist. It says a contemporary library means, quote, no hardbound books. That's what Del Mar College is striving for, apparently. They want to get rid of all those nasty old books that people can sit down and enjoy and read. What they want is everything online, so that if you don't have, if students don't have the wherewithal to go online and take care of things like that from home, then they can't check out a book and go home and read it. Okay. Now, my bride, Lynn Sansing, was one of the finest reading instructors that could be had at Del Mar College. She was developmental reading. Okay, her background was a bachelor's degree in journalism and a minor in speech. She graduated with honors. Okay, then we raised 2 kids, and then she wanted to go back to school, so she went out here to A&M University, Corpus Christi, and obtained a master's degree in developmental reading, and so forth and so on. She was a graduate of the Kellogg Institute out of Boone, North Carolina, with a certificate in developmental education, and so forth and so on. And she was an avid reader, folks. I saw her sit down in one day on the weekend and sit there and read a complete book, and she wasn't online. She didn't have to use a computer. And then that way, you can finish it up. Now, this person, and I'm going to see if I can gain permission to see what's going on. The Del Mar College Library is packing up books as we speak to go take them out and throw them in the dumpster, which is horrifying to me. Okay, I'm a collector of rare books and so forth and so on. I did that with my bride Lynn before she passed. But it said his parting message was here: don't throw out, exclamation point, collect. Now, he's a great proponent of collecting books and having people with the ability to go read those. And, like I say, my bride was an avid reader. Unbelievable, and one hell of a reading instructor. Okay? So she has taken a lot of people and shown them how to appreciate a book and so forth. But to sit there at a TV screen with your eyes burning, and running the risk of having the damn thing go offline and so forth, when you're sitting there curled up on the couch in the quiet of the evening and reading a book, that's the best way to do it. That's the way I do it. Okay? Then I am, as a taxpayer and the president of the Taxpayer Association, I'm going to personally say this. I'm not speaking for the entire Taxpayers Association, but I am so glad that Mr. Dan McQueen now is going to be the mayor. I think he's an engineer. I hope he understands, and I hope he's not a portion of the Corpus Christi real estate cartel. Thank you, Sheriff Kalin. I appreciate you so much. I've backed you all the way through since the first time you ran. Congratulations. I can't think of a finer person to be my sheriff. Okay, and then school bonds, $194 million. There's another bunch of money down the drain. And then I'm going to talk about the lack of correspondence and information back from the Americans with Disability Act. That's Department of Justice. We still got palm trees plugging up the pathways over there in the sidewalks at the Gulfway Shopping Center on Airline. So there are a lot of things I need to discuss. This sure was a real fast 30 minutes. I hope you all will email me at gsansing@gmail.com and let me know what you think. It's time to blow the lid off of some of these projects and so forth and so on. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and let you enjoy those flowers. Thank you, Lynn and April 23, for those lovely pink roses. And, I cherish the two of you. So I'm just going to go ahead and say good night and let this thing run out, and they'll cut it off at the end. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll be in touch.